And my talk is on theosophy and biodiversity. Biodiversity, full form is biological diversity. That is the full form. In short, we call it biodiversity. As many of you are theosophists, of course, I know because while interacting, I came to know that some are even non-members of Theosophical Society. But all spiritual bent of mind, and you are here. So I will try to, in my talk, I would like to focus these two things, like theosophy and biological diversity, and see what is the relationship or what is the beneficial role both are in common. We'll try to analyze that. In this 1 hour, uh, whole 1 hour I am not taking. I will take only 40 minutes, and 20 minutes I will leave it open discussion. All of you can raise some questions or clarifications or participate and uh, yeah, join in the dialogue. So the theosophy, uh, it is based on the divine wisdom theosophy. Uh, so strong theosophical movement from the founders of Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott from 1875. It has been uh, spreading across the world and has influence on the society uh, about mainly our human progression, human evolution. So, theosophy believes in human progress taking place uh, by realizing the divine wisdom consciousness. So, about consciousness, we heard from Erica, beautiful talk just before lunch. So, the consciousness, the unity of life, is flowing in all the beings. Uh, there is one life, that is the belief that one life flowing in everyone, every beings, not only human beings, but also the other kingdoms like plant, animal kingdom, and all the one unity, one life unity is flowing. So that is the belief. With that spirit, theosophy appreciates the universal brotherhood. That is the first objective of Theosophical Society, is to have the universal brotherhood. And also, it believes in the altruism, that is selfless concern for the welfare of others, that it is strongly believes and inculcates and promotes. Um, Whatever learned in the theosophical teachings, that is also passed on to others through altruistic. It is not uh, keeping to oneself. That is like different people are at different levels. So whatever in the as a theosophist, whatever one learns uh, from the elders. See, I learned from my elder brothers, and then I should also look down and then carry forward or lift the younger brothers. I have to lift them. So the sharing with others with an altruistic way, passing on the theosophical teachings. And also, as a theosophist, one should have uh, apply the cooperation principle. Cooperation is working together. See, today the world is more of divisions, fragmentation. It is because of lack of cooperation. So if there is cooperation, understanding about all the stakeholders, so it gives very good progress for the evolution. That is one thing. And also the third objective of Theosophical Society is the to investigate unexplained laws of nature. So that is where our biodiversity and nature, I am just taking for the discussion sake together. In fact, nature means it is a very broader subject. It could be, yeah, it could, normally we, in the common terminology, we use nature for landscapes, mountains, and we apply that for nature we are applying there. So in that context, um, the in nature, like in biodiversity, there are, say, in nature, there is vast number of species, whether it is animal, plant kingdom, many species are there, from microorganisms to bigger bodies, entities. So in that, only certain percent with our human intelligence, only to some extent we have identified. But still, there is scope for still so many unexplained or unidentified things are still there. So those things, yeah, we can try and investigate whether it is scientific way or non-scientific way. We'll be able to investigate them. So that is also the nature plays important role. So the Theosophical Society, when it foundation time, it was started more to counter the materialism. The materialistic approach was very much not in favor of real balance of nature and human beings coexisting. So the to counter the materialism, the Theosophical Society was born. I mean, 150 years back. But from that time, whatever they have envisioned, even today, it is the same thing. Even now, the materialistic growth and development is at the cost of nature. So it is very much true how uh, best it is possible to use our theosophical um, principles, theosophical learnings, theosophical living. Let me have some water. Yeah, I'll take. So this materialistic viewpoint is very much addressed and it is relevant even today. So the ecological way, the vegetarianism, the cruelty to animals, which is very much from the founding time, it is being addressed. And even now, the cruelty to animals is continuing in our society. Anywhere in the world, we can see the scientific studies, etc. They find ways and means of, yeah, implying, yeah, the animals are being used for the study purpose, etc., which are a very serious matter, which is a big challenge, and we need to really change that. For changing that, or to address that as a with a theosophical perspective, we can address that. So the vegetarianism also, in spite of so much, some change is there in the societies, even in India. Many people, non-vegetarians, are turning to vegetarians, but still a long way to go. And considering the our human uh, spiritual life, and also the status of um, biological diversity. For both regions, the vegetarianism is more desirable, and it is that is also one point in Theosophical society. It is being emphasized, and so the Theosophy believes more in individual transformation. Like, if as an individual, if I transfer, if I change towards with all these things of moral values, ethics, and then the right living, and all these uh, good part of life path. Uh, so it is not that with it is not possible to change in a bigger group or bigger section. It is very difficult, like through rules and regulation, so with the government, etc. It is very difficult. But whereas individual, if he change, he believes, Theosophy believes that individual changes, it will have a larger impact of spreading to others. So that is the one individual transformation is given importance. Yeah. Then actually we are moving away from nature. That is also one aspect we have to see, that uh, more urban development at the cost of rural destruction. This is going on for the many decades. This is what going on. Uh, People move from rural to urban area for their livelihood, for their attraction to more luxuries, more comforts, or etc., etc. All these things make people leave the rural areas and to urban. But the urban areas which have limitation, but beyond the limitation, if it is congested, then people lead a very miserable life, and then poor people suffer because of high pollution, and then nature is deprived of. Many disadvantages are there in the urban. So again, only from the urban, if you see for the last 4 or 5 decades, uh, like New York or big cities, uh, earlier rich people used to stay, but now only poor are left over, and only rich can afford to go out and stay outside the city. They go to the rural areas, outside suburbans, etc. They go and because only rich can afford that, poor cannot afford. Poor are left in the city. So we mean to say that with theosophical understanding and to protect the biodiversity, it is better to have the balance of uh, both ecological and economic balancing is required uh, to see that there is coexistence, because the animal and plant kingdom, they are the our younger brother. Those kingdoms are younger brothers of human kingdom. So it is to give respect, and then to encompass that is very important. So in like in urban areas, we see the dominating factor of consumeristic life. That is, more and more consumerism dominates. We do see There, in the urban areas, people require more energy, more goods, etc., are used. So, which is not sustainable. They are unsustainable, and those consumeristic lifestyle, which is resulting into more stressful life and also unrest and more man wants more for moves towards competition, jealousy, and then all conflict, etc., all are aggregating and becoming making uh, the life very miserable. And like, if you take say example of people who are working in software, computers, and all that, their job in the cities, they are so much engrossed in that, and ultimately they require a weekend or some vacation, go to a forest and relax and retreat, and they get back their energies. So this is the importance and need. See, in first case, we have destructed the ecosystems. So what we have as a human society made mistake is that the development is not based on ecosystem based development is not there, because our our geography is with like beautiful ecosystems of mountain ecosystem, agricultural ecosystem, marine ecosystem, desert ecosystem, different landscape, different forms of uh, ecosystems are there. Within that, they are inseparably interrelated and interdependent. So that part we are forgetting and misusing and abusing the human greediness, human being selfishness. More of this is what Theosophy emphasizes on, how to lead a life of selfless uh, life, to have more concern for the other uh, entities. So, so this from the consumeristic life to uh, consumerism to having this ecosystem based development will give scope for a holistic sustainable livelihood support system where there is peace and harmony. See, everyone wants peace and harmony ultimately. So that peace and harmony, if it is missing within us, amidst our habitat, then what for our life? So I think that way it is very good. So the first step is biological diversity. Biodiversity leads to stability of nature. This is a truth. Okay. So the like biodiversity, which is different from small plants, bushes to big trees in a forest or in sea or water, small fish to big whale. See, all different kinds of animals. So all are uh, the products of manifestation. So these biodiversity, plant and animal species, when they are protected, the stability of nature is there. See, everyone, anyone, why people travel from one continent to other continent to see nature, to be with nature, to see that kind of local nature. So everyone from inside us, certainly we have our passion, our interest in respecting and appreciating nature. So that kind of a nature we should have, and we have to protect the diversity. We have to see, for example, in India, from my country. like tropical or any other tropical country, some good medicinal plants are very much used for the herbal medicine, which are there, which are available from the forest, natural forest. So in other like Switzerland, Europe, or in America, see in the temperate countries, that tree or plant product may not be growing because of climatic change. So what happens? That moves from as a raw material or a product to this place, and when it is overexploited without any restriction, it is very difficult, and it will disappear. It will vanish from the planet Earth. So then it is the big loss to the whole global community. For it is a global loss. So that is the importance of all these diverse species which are required uh, to we should see that the regeneration is taking place, that is observing the conservation principles without compromising the conservation principles. I mean, harvesting and using the resources, biological resources, without compromising the conservation principles. So to ensure that, that is why there is biodiversity convention is there. Actually, earlier we had, maybe in your countries also, the departments like agriculture department, veterinary departments, like those departments were there to govern. But in the last 2 decades, this biodiversity also as a department, it has come. The At global level, there is biodiversity convention, like climate change convention. We have once in 2 years global convention takes place, and at national level also the national authorities are formed to formulate the policies which are more biodiverse. So during lunchtime, when I was sharing with our Switzerland friend, colleague, participant, Rocco. Rocco is here. And see, like 2 months back, Switzerland has put forth the referendum of biodiversity, but it got defeated. It did not come through. See, like that, it is very difficult to see that biodiversity and ecology to go together. So, uh, see, that is where I think this is the comparison, the consciousness in the whole biological, even consciousness varies in different degrees. So maybe in our human level, we have certain degree of consciousness, but in plant kingdom, animal kingdom, there is consciousness. So to respect that, we need to, yeah, this sympathy and compassion is required from the human society towards the other things. So that is the main reason for the need for biodiversity conservation. And so I think this is how it goes on. Like I have learned whatever I could learn joining the Theosophical Society about the importance of theosophy required for leading a life, simplistic life. It gives very, theosophical living is very, very vital, very important as compared to the other uh, kind of living, which is not giving so much importance to um, other these compassionate things and sympathy, etc., which is lacking, and the moral values lacking there. So there, this theosophical living is a very good opportunity for the society, to the well-being or good of society. It is very important, and that way. the biodiversity also, when it is enriched with biodiversity, the landscape, etc., can give more happiness to the society, like birds, colorfulness, animals, etc., appreciating and living together. Yeah, coexisting and then embracing them, uh, which is the reality of our life. I think that way I am introducing the subject of this theosophy, what I learned in my after joining. That is my understanding. Of course, you are all very um, seniors, and then you have been, and our rich literature by Blavatsky, Alcott, Leadbeater, and the Secret Doctrine, and so much is there. Sky is the limit, and to learn and then follow. So from that we can take and then use. So now with this, I am concluding and opening up for every one of you to contribute or to add or to raise or for some clarity if you raise. I am prepared to